Do you know, as of January 2023, India has 94.50 crore voters, and this is as per government sources. Now, all of us know that all these voters participate in making Indian democracy strong, and we definitely need free and fair elections to ensure that India is a strong democratic nation. To manage all this, we do need a body that ensures that elections are conducted in a robust manner. And for this, we have Election Commission of India. Hi everyone, I am Neelam Bhatia, and this is Edukemy's Prelims Gear Up program. The idea is to take you through important topics and make your preparation for prelims strong. The topic that we are taking up today is Election Commission of India. Now remember, Election Commission is a constitutional, autonomous body which is responsible for conducting and managing elections in India. Is it a constitutional body? Yes. And for that we have part 15 of the Constitution. Particularly Article 324 to 329 are the articles that deal with elections and Election Commission of India. Now the question is, what are the elections that Election Commission of India takes care of? Remember this: elections to Lok Sabha, to Rajya Sabha, to state legislative assemblies, and the elections of president and vice president. Now you might say, bacha kya? Remember, the elections to municipalities and to panchayat is taken care of by State Election Commission, and this is where trick questions come up. Also a trivia everyone, Election Commission was set up on 25th of January 1950, and that is why 25th of January is celebrated as National Voters' Day. Also remember, the secretariat of this commission is in New Delhi. The second and important part is, what would be the composition of this election commission? So remember, there is a chief election commissioner and then there are additional commissioners. Now what would be the number of this additional commissioners? This would be decided by the president from time to time. So accordingly, Election Commission has shifted from being single member body to multi-member body. Now remember, from 1950 to 1989, Election Commission was a single member body. But then a revolutionary change happened and the voting age was lowered from 21 years to 18 years. Now this was critical because suddenly the amount of work that came to Election Commission was huge, and therefore the Election Commission was converted into a multi-member body. But then again the number was reduced. 1990 to 93, it again became a single member body, and from 1993 till today, it is a multi-member body. So remember, as of today, Election Commission is a multi-member body. There is one chairperson and two other additional members. Now, another important point that you must remember is, the Chief Election Commissioner and the other two commissioners actually have co-equal powers. So it is not that the Chief Election Commissioner is somebody who is taking the final call. Rather, all the decisions are taken through a majority. In fact, the perks, the allowances for all three of them are same. This is an important point to consider. Also, one might ask, what are the qualifications to become the Election Commissioner or the additional commissioners? Now, the Constitution does not specifically talk about any qualifications required to become the Chief Election Commissioner or the members. However, the Constitution left it to the Parliament, and so far Parliament has not come up with any detailed qualifications required, and this can be a question in your examination. With regards to the tenure, remember the tenure is 6 years or 65 years, whichever is earlier. Now let us talk about the removal procedure. So the removal of Chief Election Commissioner can be done in the same manner as the removal or impeachment of the Supreme Court judge. And what is that, you may ask? So the ground can be proven misbehavior or incapacity. And what is the process? So we need special majority from both the houses of the Parliament. So what is special majority, you may ask? Special majority is 2/3 of the members present and voting and 50% of the total. Once we receive this from both the houses, only then can the Chief Election Commissioner be removed. Now what about the other two members? So the criteria given is the other two members can be removed by the President after consultation with the Chief Election Commissioner. But this is where the grey area comes up, because no further clarification is available. तो हमें नहीं पता whether this recommendation or suggestion binding or what would be the procedure henceforth. So this is that area which needs some more clarification. Let us also understand what about the removal of other two election commissioners. So the other two election commissioners can be removed only on the recommendation of Chief Election Commissioner. But this is where the grey area comes up. Why, you may ask? Because there are no details available as to the recommendation is mandatory, is it binding or not. Also, there is no criteria or no further procedure available as to what would happen when such a recommendation is given to the President. So this is where we need more clarification. Now let us move to the very important area of this topic, and that is what are the functions of Election Commission. First and foremost, elections in our country are based on territorial constituencies. So you must have seen certain constituencies are identified and then members are selected from this constituency. So drawing up these territorial constituency, what would be its area, how it has to be revised, is done by the Election Commission. But remember, this is done in accordance with the Delimitation Act. Also, all of us get our names on the voter list. So this electoral roll or the voter list is prepared by the Election Commission and also updated from time to time. So let's say somebody has crossed the age of 18, then that name has to be included in the electoral roll. Or let's say somebody has died, then that name has to be removed from the electoral roll. Now, we also need a schedule for elections as to when will the election be conducted. You must have seen there are certain phases in which elections are conducted. So all that schedule that you get is prepared by the Election Commission. At the same time, all the political parties register with the Election Commission. They have to take care of the registration as well as granting them recognition is done by Election Commission. Now all the nomination papers are filed. These nomination papers are scrutinized by the Election Commission to see whether all the details are correct or not, all the required qualifications are met or not, or rather the required affidavits are filled or not. Now you must have seen some parties are called national parties and some are recognized as state parties or regional parties. So this recognition is also provided by Election Commission, and accordingly certain symbols, grants and funds are sanctioned by the Election Commission of India. Now please note, in case that there are certain disputes, let's say with regards to the election symbol or with regards to the recognition, that is also resolved by the Election Commission of India. At the same time, the very important model code of conduct that has to be followed during elections is not only prepared by the Election Commission, but the Election Commission makes sure that this model code of conduct is followed by all the political parties. This is where the idea that elections in India are free and fair is taken care of by Election Commission of India. Not only this, Election Commission can also cancel certain elections in case they feel that there are certain wrongdoings or there are certain irregularities in the election procedure. That decision also lies with Election Commission of India. At the same time, the Election Commission advises either the President or the Governor with regards to the disqualification of members in Parliament to the President, and in case of state legislative assemblies to the Governor. At the same time, it is the Election Commission that advises President whether elections can be conducted during President's rule or not. Also remember, Election Commission is often called a quasi-judicial body. So they may ask you in your questions that whether Election Commission is a quasi-judicial body, and it is. Why? Because it performs a judicial function. So if in case there is a dispute with regards to merger of political parties, or let's say split of political parties, then that decision or that judgment is also given by Election Commission of India. And that is why if they ask you, is Election Commission a quasi-judicial body? Then the answer to that question would be a yes. Finally, can the Election Commission also disqualify somebody from participating in an election? Yes. In case the candidate has not filled the required detail asked by the Election Commission, or there are certain irregularities found in his or her nominations, then in that case Election Commission can also disqualify somebody from running for elections. So definitely Election Commission is a very important body, and it ensures that the democratic fabric of our nation remains intact. Now before we end, let me remind you that there is a downloadable PDF available which you can use to enhance your preparation for prelims examination. Also, Edukemy has a prelims support program which is a very intensive program and helps you prepare thoroughly for Prelims 2024. So be a part of it and make your preparation rock strong. Take care.